Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. Last video of 2021, yearly favorites. I can't believe that we are here. 2022 is right around the corner. I am so grateful for each and every one of you, just for being here, for joining my internet family. I absolutely love YouTube. It has been so fun to make videos for you guys, to entertain you for the last year. Actually the last like 3 or 4 years, but specifically this year has been a big one, a very special one, and I'm just so grateful. So everything I'm talking about today is like my most used top favorite products of the entire year. They're all going to be linked in the description bar below. While you're down there, go ahead and click the subscribe button if you are new here, and also follow me on Instagram because I share a ton of stuff over there as well on a daily basis. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm also sitting because today is just one of those days where pregnancy does not agree with my body. Like my belly is just so heavy and everything hurts. So if I'm like a little bit more low energy in my last video of the year, I'm so sorry, but I am just like, pregnancy is getting tougher and tougher by the week. So definitely sitting and trying to just be chill today. So something I did start doing in previous videos before I actually shared products, because I've told you guys like, yes, I share products here on my channel, but like that's not what life is all about, is the peak and the pit, or like the best thing and like my least favorite thing about the month. So I'm gonna do like my peak and pit of the whole year, and my pit, I'm gonna try and say this without crying, is losing my cat Sasha. If you guys don't know, Sasha died October 1st, and she was my baby. I had her longer than I've been with Sam, and you know, there's always like, you always have those family dogs that when you lose them it's so hard, but like then you have your first animal, and that's like, it's so hard to lose your first animal, and Sasha was that for me. She got cellulitis in August, like right around the time I found out I was pregnant, and then October 1st we put her down, but we knew that like, actually, I feel like by the time we called, we had done everything we could do, and I felt like it was even then a little bit too late. So it was so rough, and I think about her every single day. And part of me still so badly wants to sue the vet that just didn't treat her cellulitis, knew what it was, and just didn't treat it. But I don't even know if that's a thing, and if it is, I'm sure it's a wild goose chase. But anytime I talk about it, I just tell people like, the vet just didn't treat her cellulitis, and so I had to go to a different vet, and by the time I got to that different vet, she was just too far gone. So losing her was definitely the hardest day of the entire year, no doubt. My peak, I actually have a few of these, and I think one of them is very easy to understand, getting pregnant and then also finding out I'm having a son this year. I have known my entire life that I was meant to be a boy mom, and so to finally get there and get that little baby and it be a boy was like the most exciting thing. That was something Sam and I wished and prayed for so hard, and so when we got pregnant in July and then found out in August, it was just the most exciting thing, and we genuinely just wanted a healthy baby. We didn't even care what gender it was, but I had a dream it was a boy, and it is a boy, so that was definitely a very big high this year, and getting to meet him next year, I'm so excited for that. And then another peak is actually paying off my student loans. I did that 13 years early. The only way I was able to do that was because they paused the interest on student loans, and it's been paused since March of 2020. And so what I actually did was in March of 2020, I stopped paying my student loans off, and I did the Dave Ramsey method of like every bit of extra money that I had went to my car, and I paid off my car. I think we got it paid off in August of 2020, and then that money plus my monthly payment plus like any extra money we had went towards my student loans. And so in October of this year, I paid off my student loans 13 years early. That was a huge success of mine. And finally, just getting to travel internationally again. That was something I genuinely wasn't sure was going to ever happen again. We made the plan in August of 2020 with my friends to go to Jamaica. And the thing is, it was, you know, we were still on a resort. We had to like go through all these, like jump through all these hoops and fill out all this paperwork. And we were told we were only allowed to go to like certain parts of the island, and so like we needed permission to almost just go to the resort. And so it was really nice to actually get to like follow through with those plans, and in 2021 travel internationally again, even though it did look different than it would have in previous years. Okay, I want to start out with the fashion category first. So first, I Obviously, I'm not going to hold these up on screen because perverts on the internet. Hanky Panky panties. So I don't know what took me so freaking long to try these things, but I bought them during the Nordstrom sale. I bought like, I think it was like 2 pairs. And then I immediately, when they came in, I went and bought like 8 more pairs. And then I think after that, I bought like 6 more pairs. I've completely replaced all of my underwear with Hanky Panky underwear now because they are so good. I don't know what it is. They're just really comfortable. They fit well. They're like seamless. They don't snag. They're just like really good quality to just be underwear. And I didn't get it before. I was like, what is the freaking fad with Hanky Panky panties? I'd always heard Tinsley Mortimer talk about it on the Real Housewives of New York. I was like, what is this about freaking Hanky Panky panties? But dang, y'all, they are so good. I love them. So those are definitely what I've been wearing since I got them in July. Next up are the Lululemon leggings and the bike shorts. I actually am wearing them right now. I'm not sure if you guys can see. I bought these, I think it was actually just after I found out I was pregnant. I had heard they were really, really good at growing with your belly, and I had heard some people say like you can actually wear your true size your whole pregnancy, and that of course just depends on how much weight you gain. But I am still currently at almost 25 weeks pregnant. I'll actually be 25 weeks pregnant when this video goes live, wearing my true size 6. And so they're very, very, very comfortable, and they don't like, they're not too snug on my bump, which is a huge plus because I haven't been able to wear like any of my workout leggings. Actually, I had to buy maternity workout leggings because they're just so snug on my bump. So Lululemon are amazing, and I also got the bike shorts, but I obviously can't wear those because it's December, but those things just feel so soft. Like I hate myself for sleeping on Lululemon for so long. Beauty, this is my biggest category. I feel like all of these products, the reason they're like my faves is like, why did I wait to try these for so long? So this was the first year I was introduced to the pimple patches, and I have tried a couple different brands. I have tried the I don't know if it's CORSX or COSRX ones from Walmart. I did not feel like those did anything. I've even tried, and I hate to say this, I love Dime Beauty, but their pimple patches don't do jack. They are so bad. And I honestly, there was a lot of Dime products that I almost put in this video, but I tried to like narrow it down to like the top 5. And so I would feel like this definitely took the cut over all of those. So this is the Mighty Patch. It's from the Hero brand. These are the superior pimple patch. My sister-in-law came up to me the day before her wedding and she was like, I have acne all over my chin. And I was like, stop, let me go get you. I knew I brought these for a reason, and so I actually gave her a sheet of them, and I told her, put them on the bumps, like when you get home, wash your face, put them on the bumps, wear them till tomorrow morning when you wake up. When you wake up, again, like wash your face and then put more on until it's time to put your makeup on. Sure enough, those bumps were like a fraction of what size they were when I saw her the night before. Had I had these on my wedding day, I had one bump right here, and I would not have had that because these literally can take the biggest, most painful or ugly bump or bump that like won't pop, just any of them, even like under skin bumps, and it can get it gone in like a day or 2 max. I keep these on hand. I literally do not go without them. I have 2 boxes in back stock. I just have acne prone skin. Definitely since getting pregnant it has been worse, but I used those prior to pregnancy and they were a dream. I was like, where have these been all my life? The other thing I found this year is the Laneige. I think when you guys said that that is the correct way to pronounce this, Laneige lip mask. This is the berry flavor. The berry flavor is the only one I've tried, and I believe I've had this is the only one I've used all year. Might be my second one, but this thing lasts for so long. I put it on my lips every single night. I need a lot of hydration on my lips on a regular basis, so much. So this has been really great because I have to put a small amount on every single night, and it just makes my lips feel so smooth, and it actually has helped a lot. Usually this time of year, I have really bad cracked lips, and I'm horrible. It's disgusting, but I'm horrible about peeling the skin of my lips, and I have not had that at all this year since using this. So I've done like giveaways with this. I put this in like little goodie bags, stocking stuffers. This is like one of the most superior products, at least just for your lips. Like, don't forget to hydrate your lips. It is equally as important as hydrating the rest of your body. Something that was a new release this year that I was so floored and infatuated by from the moment I saw it was this T3 Curl ID curling iron. Now they do have the straightener, but I curl my hair a lot more than straighten, which is why the curler is the one that made it. you guys, this is the best curling iron. I have expressed to you guys, it's actually still one of my most read blog posts to date. Last Christmas, I did a full review on GHD curling iron versus just like the standard T3 curling iron. And the one thing that made me so annoyed with the GHD is, and I see people mention it to this day, and they'll talk about how good it is and how it's so healthy for your hair. And I'm like, well, curling your hair every single day. Like, I see you wake up the next day and your hair does not look like you curled it at all. So you have to recurl it every day. The GHD curling iron has one heat setting for, quote, optimal heat to your hair. And I'm like, that is BS. Like, my sister-in-law literally looked at me when I was doing her hair for my older brother's wedding, and she was like, I am half Mexican. That curling iron is gonna have to be hotter. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I tried to do her hair, and sure enough, I was like, I think this is gonna burn your hair. And she was like, no, it's not. She was like, that's not going to curl my hair. It has to be hotter. And sure enough, I had the curling iron, the T3, on the hottest setting, and it did end up really curling her hair very well. But that wasn't the heat setting that I need for my hair. And then my other sister-in-law, who has, like, she always is like dyeing her hair or putting chemical treatments in her hair. Like, her hair obviously needs a different heat setting than mine does. Mine is untreated in color. I don't have any like chemical on it to make it curly or straight or anything like that. So obviously we all need different heat settings. And so I was like, GHD is like, that's just total crap. Like, why would one heat setting work for everybody? So I like that this has multiple, I think it's got like 9 or 10 heat settings, but this also has a button. So when you plug it in, you can actually choose to do like manual. So it just like, it curls your hair to standard heat setting, or you can click a little button that looks like a little like beaker. So they're called from high school science. I cannot remember that long ago, but that's for chemically treated hair. You click that if you have chemically treated hair. And then there's another one for if your hair is dyed. And then you also pick how coarse your hair is. So this is a fully customizable curling iron to you. And if you need to ever change the settings for someone else to use it, you can, and it's very simple. So I feel like I've talked a lot about this. Beauty is like, I'm very passionate about hair and taking good care of your hair since I messed mine up using the Revlon one-step dryer last year, and it just burned my hair. I really started focusing on like keeping my hair healthy even when I put heat to it, and that is how I'm able to like have the hair that I do. So just please, if you have a chance at the GHD product, don't buy it. That's that. Like, I'm sure that, you know, I'm sure that it works for some people, but to me, I can't get on board with a curling iron that has one heat setting and claims that that's optimal for everyone. Like, that's like saying one size fits all for clothing. Okay, probably one of the most, I don't want to say controversial, but definitely the most opinionated, or brings the most opinions, products is the Dyson Airwrap. This is superior, and I bought it last Christmas for myself, and I talked about it in, I think it was like January or February of this year. I did a like products totally worth the hype video, and I talked about this. And in that video, I got a lot of people who said that they were like kind of ragging on it, and they said, well, you know, you can get the exact same thing for much cheaper from Revlon or Dry Bar or whatever, and that is actually not true. And a lot of people are like hating on the fact that this thing is like $500. I totally agree. I think this thing is so overpriced, and I hope that in a couple years there are competitive products to this, and so they can bring the price of this one down, because it is unreasonably high. But there is not a product on the market that is comparable to this. So product price and product performance are two different things. And when someone says there's like a dupe for this, or something performs exactly like this for cheaper, that is not true. And I so badly want to find you guys a dupe, but I can't. And if someone tells you that you're getting the exact same product for less with that Revlon one-step dryer or anything else, they are lying to you. Like, straight, you cannot get the same thing. So a couple features about the Dyson Airwrap, apart from the astronomical price that I just like, that's the one reason why I don't talk about it more, is because I'm like, this is insane. Like, I love it so much. I use it on my hair every day, but it's insane. So what kind of gets me, and I did a full video on this, I'll link it in the description bar below. So it has, I believe it said, oh, I'm gonna butcher this, Kawanda method. Don't kill me if that's incorrect. But basically, when you are curling your hair with this, it wraps your hair around it. But so that's really cool. It's gonna like actually kind of suck the hair up. I'm sure you've seen the videos of girls curling their hair with this. I absolutely love it. I will sometimes curl my hair with the Dyson, and I can get it to look just like this. I just did this with a curling iron today because I needed to touch it up. But that will curl your hair. And again, I did talk about all of this like super in depth in my Dyson video. video, but the entire thing, every single product you're seeing here, this regular blow dry attachment, the brush attachments, the round brush attachments, all of them are controlled by this sucker right here that actually plugs into the wall. And this is going to constantly, like smart technology in some capacity, because Dyson is brilliant, it is constantly measuring the temperature of your hair to make sure that even at the highest heat setting held on your hair for as long as physically possible, it is like constantly measuring the temperature of your hair to make sure that it is not burning it. And that is how you are able to achieve these like gorgeous looks that have so much shine, and they're also not damaging your hair. So I actually had to come back after I realized that my Revlon one-step dryer was what had completely damaged my hair, and say like, hey, I told you guys I like this thing, and actually I realized my hairdresser like had to chop off like 8 inches of hair because my hair stopped growing. And a lot of people were like, no, you're just not using this shampoo, you need to use this shampoo. I've used like sulfate-free hair growth shampoo for the last 2 years. I use hair oil. I've always used heat protectant like since I've become an adult. That, I promise you, like if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. The Revlon one-step dryer absolutely destroyed my hair, and after I came out and said like, hey, I didn't realize this was actually ruining my hair and my hair stopped growing, a lot of you guys came out and were like, yeah, same thing, like either you figured it out or your hairdresser told you. So you can get the same blow dry method from those round brush attachments. You can get that kind of blowout look. I would recommend the dry bar option. My mom uses the dry bar option and she has the most gorgeous, shiny, like long, healthy hair. But I can't, you guys, that Revlon one-step dryer, do not buy it. It's terrible. It literally burned my hair even on like the lowest setting, and it like broke after like 6 or 7 months of use. So as much as I've talked about this, I just need to like say, I totally agree with you guys. I think that the Dyson is way overpriced and it is stupid. But that does not mean that you can get something cheaper that does the exact same thing, because there isn't a product that performs like this. So if you are willing to pay or can afford to pay the like $500, it is 1000% worth it. I'm so happy I bought that. I will talk about it to the end of the earth, and I will say every good thing I can. I'm like, I love it so much. People will be like, so do you recommend it? Like, yes, I recommend it. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. It is the most amazing hot tool ever. I love it. My hair is so shiny and gorgeous with it. I use it every day in some capacity, even if it's just to like blow dry the dry shampoo in. I don't have any other blow drying system in my house. It is superior, plain and simple. It just is a ridiculous price. So now we are into home, and one of them I actually thought about bringing in here, but it is in the sink. I need to go wash it. I used it to cook my lunch today. Is the Always pan, or it's the Our Place Always pan. So I bought this earlier this year when I kind of started my whole journey to BPA free, and I'll talk about that in a second. And just trying to get my home as healthy as possible, and I found Always pan, and I have been so completely in love with this thing. I use it almost every single day because I cook myself breakfast in some form every single day, whether it's bacon or eggs, which I've been making a lot of, whether I'm making my husband food, either with dinner. I use this pan almost every single day. Like, it is sad when I can't, because it's like dirty and I just like am too pressed for time to like wash it in the sink. So this is non-stick, it's non-toxic, it is so amazing. It literally looks like it's clean when you're like just finishing up cooking. Like, you just like dump everything out onto a plate or whatever and you just look at it and it looks like you have literally just washed it, but you haven't. It is almost deceptive how good this thing is, but it's non-toxic, so that's a huge deal for me. Now, the next product has been amazing for so many reasons. A pour over coffee maker is superior in taste. It is easy as pie to make, and I actually started using this because earlier in the year when my husband and I decided we were going to have a baby, this isn't something I expressed, you know, obviously didn't tell you guys we were trying, and I actually ended up reading a book, It Starts With an Egg, and it talks a little bit about that, BPA, how it can affect your body, and guys, just first of all, do your own research. But what she talked about in that book is she was like, this is a 2nd or 3rd edition. And she said, because so many people came back and were freaking out and they were like, well, I can't get rid of all the BPA in my life. And she was like, that's not the goal. The goal is to eliminate the biggest amounts of BPA. So she was like listing off, you know, get rid of your plastic like water heater, which we had had for years, so I replaced ours with glass, and get rid of like plastic Tupperware containers that you put in the microwave. Got rid of those, went to glass. And because of that, it was great. So one day I ran across an article talking about BPA in your coffee pot, and someone actually told me recently, they were like, oh my gosh, there's so much BPA in your K-cups that you should get reusable K-cups, because we do have a Keurig, just full disclosure, for the mornings that we're running late or we just don't want to make the pour over. If I'm worried about BPA, I'm not going to use a Keurig at all, because by the time that water gets to that K-cup, that water has gone through so much heated plastic parts. Like a Keurig is like BPA filled. So I am not worried about the BPA in the K-cup. That's because that's the end. Like, it's already got what it needs. So again, it's one of those things where I just tried to eliminate majority of it in our kitchen, and I actually ended up going to a pour over style coffee maker. The coffee tastes so good. Takes no longer. I mean, it probably takes a little bit longer to make than your regular coffee, just because you obviously are not like pushing a button, but it doesn't take long, maybe under 3 to 4 minutes for me and my husband. And again, I'll say this 100 times, pour over coffee is so much better. And I know I've talked about this a lot. I've talked a lot in this video, but I'm very like passionate about this subject, and I do think it's something that so many people take to the extreme. I think you should try and eliminate the most BPA that you can out of your system, but it's physically impossible to eliminate it altogether. Like, even just eating out, the amount of BPA that you get in your system just from going to a restaurant. Like, she talks about it in that it starts with an egg book, and it is terrifying. But just for like, so you guys know I'm not totally full of BS, I will try and find the article and link it below, but I actually had a firsthand experience. I shared it with my parents because my mom's been very BPA like free in her life for many years, and I told my parents, I was like, hey, have you guys heard about coffee pots and, you know, the BPA in them? And they immediately were like, no. And so just look up all the negative effects of BPA and you will know why they were so stressed. So they tried percolator coffee and they actually love it. Like, percolator is their prime coffee. And my mom had changed nothing else about her diet. So BPA like can mimic estrogen in your body, and it kind of makes your body think that you have like this estrogen amount. So my mom had done nothing else, and 1 week after she completely stopped using her coffee pot, changed nothing else, and went to a percolator, meaning eliminating that plastic, all of a sudden, this might be TMI, she started bleeding, and it was bad. Like, we were so worried. So she went to the gynecologist and they ran a blood test, and wouldn't you know it, all of a sudden her estrogen levels were half of what they needed to be. She had changed nothing. All she had done was get rid of her coffee pot, and her estrogen levels were half of what they needed to be. If that does not scare you and tell you that like coffee pots are terrifying, I don't know what will. Again, it's just, you have to eliminate a percentage of it, but we do still have a Keurig, and we use it just on the days when we're like quick fast. Like, I maybe use it 3 times a month at most. But you know, make it for hot chocolate, whatever. Do your own research. If you choose not to get rid of, you know, your coffee pot or whatever, that's fine. But don't hate on people who are trying to get rid of BPA in any capacity and like be so rude. I actually stopped talking a lot about it, which I think is why I'm talking so much now, because I just got so sick of people either being like, you're so dramatic, this is so unnecessary, why are you getting rid of all this stuff, it's really not that bad for you, or the pendulum swung the opposite direction and people were so rude and like, you are not doing near enough, you don't even need to talk about this subject, you're sharing incorrect information. I'm like, I'm just not going to absolutely stress myself out beyond belief and try to get rid of every single 100% of BPA, because I know it's just not possible. So I am so sorry. That was probably the longest winded I've ever been about a product, but that is why pour over coffee is superior. No BPA from the glass water kettle all the way till you get the most delicious coffee you've ever tasted. I promise you. Don't doubt me on this. Just try pour over coffee. And the last product is the Eufy vacuum. This thing has been a godsend, because the one thing I hate the most is vacuuming, and I have to do it a lot. I just have a million animals, and especially during my first trimester, I would look down at the floor and I'd be like, I have not vacuumed. Oh, I have a Eufy vacuum. You literally push a button on it and it vacuums your house for you, and it's so simple and it does such a good job, and it can get under your sofa and it can get under your bed. It can get in those hard to reach places. I just feel like this has added such a convenience to my life. We actually have had it for a year or two now. I think it's actually been 2 years. We freaking love this Eufy, but we use it a lot, and so we actually ended up this year also getting the cordless, like handheld for spot vacuuming or whatever, and I equally love that so much. So Eufy brand, anything you cannot go wrong with. And I'm just gonna leave that there because I just talked for like 45 minutes about BPA and pour over coffee makers. So that is it for today's video. If you guys stuck around this long, you are a gem. I cannot believe you are still here. I way ran my mouth, but I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so freaking much for being here. I can't believe we're at the end of 2021, and I'm so excited for 2022 for making new videos, meeting new business goals, and for you guys joining me in my journey to becoming a mama. I get to meet my son in 2022, and I have literally, when I say this, waited 26 years to do that, so I cannot wait. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have the most beautiful, happy new year and the most blessed 2022 physically possible. Love you guys, and I'll see you next year.